Hello everyone and welcome back to Jim's Well Done Guitars and another edition of the Guitar Bucket List. Today I've got a good one for you, a big one for you. This is my Sparkle Jet Gretsch limited edition and Ocean Blue Turquoise guitar. This one was one of those ones that I saw in an article online, and it was like that scene from Wayne's World where he says, "Oh yes, it will be mine." That's what happened here. They also make this one in a beautiful champagne color, and it was so difficult to choose between the two. But as you'll see as we go through my collection here, that the turquoise type of color scheme is one that I keep gravitating towards. It's just kind of my color, and it's really hard to deny this one. This guitar is so great that it checks off so many things on our bucket list. So we're going to make a big dent in the list with this one guitar alone. So let's get started. First of all, this guitar right here is a limited edition, and that was on my list. It's hard to tell what limited edition means. I know Gibson, when they do limited runs of things, they usually do about 400 guitars. I have no idea how many Gretsch made. These guitars aren't cheap. They retailed for around $3,000 when they were new. And so I can't imagine there's a ton of people running out and grabbing these things. So I don't know how many they made, other than the fact that it's just absolutely gorgeous. So that was on there. This finish right here, I'm going to check this off the list, although with a caveat. I wanted a sparkle top. I wanted a guitar that kind of has that like 50s diner sparkle top finish to it. And I mean, mission accomplished, right? But this actually isn't a paint. This is drum wrap. So it's actually like a material that's used that's underneath the finish here. So it's not painted on in that metal flake. The metal flakes on this thing are huge and they're just in your face. I just love it. But I have some other guitars. You can kind of see a little preview that actually have the real metal flake paint. But even still, this is a sparkle top. It doesn't get any more sparkly than this. So I'm going to count that as another check off of the guitar bucket list. Another one that this has, I didn't mention it in another video, so I'll mention it now, the Ebony Fretboard. It looks to me so much nicer than some of the rosewood or Indian laurel, some of the other materials that are out there. It's just special. They tend to put it on the nicer guitars, the more special, fancier looking guitars. So really love that. And then this one here was kind of big for me, is that it has real pearl inlays. These inlays are huge, first of all. I mean, they take up almost the entire space between the frets. They're so smooth and they just look so nice. When you catch it in the light just right, you can tell that it's the real deal. And I just really love that. This guitar has the old original kind of Gretsch logo on the top and a script. I actually like the other one that kind of looks like the Beatles logo with the big T. But this one's really cool as well. This one also has locking tuners. These are Goto locking tuners. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. They look really slick and they work really well. So that's a great feature as well. And then this one has the Bigsby unit on the bottom, a real Bigsby. My Ibanez had an Ibanez branded one before, but this one has the real deal. It's not a licensed buy or anything like that. And then finally, this one has a chambered body. So this is actually hollow. You can hear that, especially there. It's actually a hollow body guitar, just without like the F-holes cut out in it. It is incredibly light. Well, relatively speaking. It's definitely heavier, like right in this region here where I'm holding. So it's not a lot of neck dive or anything, but they balanced it really well. This guitar was made in Japan, and the rumors of the quality Japanese made anything really, but instruments is true. It's unbelievable. I have a thing where I go through things that I buy, especially if they're expensive things that I have like a tinge of guilt for buying. And it's almost like I try to find something wrong with them, to a fault. And try as I might, I can't find anything on this guitar. It's it plays so well. It plays so much better than 90% of the guitars that I have. It feels good. It sounds great. It's shiny in all the right places. I mean, it just is really made well. I can't say enough about that. And it has Schaller strap locks kind of built in to it. So I had to get a separate strap just so I can install those on it, because I have the Dunlop dual design system for all my other guitars. And I'm not going to replace these on here. I try not to on some of the higher end guitars, replace things like that. And it's got these great Tim Shaw designed pickups that are just, I mean, high output but clear at the same time. We'll get into that in a little bit. The pick guard is etched in this Gretsch. It's not just printed on or stuck on the back or anything like that. It's actually etched in and then painted on the etching. These knobs here with these knurled edges to it just feel really great. They have the arrows pointing on the top of them there. And actually, I'm not going to check this off the bucket list because it's technically not an ABR1 because it's not a Gibson product, but that's what it's got. It's got a drill directly into the body, ABR1 style bridge. There was no posts or anything. The seats inside the guitar is just drilled directly down in there. So as far as features go, a really fantastic guitar all around. It's even got these little red side dot markers over there. This is something about this thing that it feels really special. Looks really special when you open the case and show people. Their eyes light up, and they can kind of tell that this one stands apart from a lot of the rest. Real quick, so I bought this one from Musician's Friend. I have a love-hate relationship with Musician's Friend. I'm currently in more of the hate category right now. Here's the thing, in my experience, and I've purchased a lot of guitars, as you can probably tell, and will definitely know by the end of this series. But you can't, in my opinion, you can't get a better price than going through them for a new guitar. It's the points that they give you, this one happened to have double points. I got 16% back in points on this guitar alone, which was enough to buy another guitar, which sparked a whole bunch of other buying. So smart on them. But like this one came in with an issue, which seems to happen with every guitar that I purchase from Musician's Friend. It had like a scuff in the case on the top, right down to like the wood, right through the Tolex. And, so I wrote to them, I said, hey, I just bought this very expensive guitar. It's got a big scuff in the top of the case. And of course, they can't get you a new one because the case comes with the guitar, and this was the last one that they had in their warehouse. And I've had a lot of bad luck ordering from Guitar Center stores in the past. We'll get to that in another episode. But, they were able to give me a little bit of money back for it. But, then I have to go and use I saw this great trick online where you use this kind of like liquid rubber kind of stuff. It looks like rubber cement, but it's black. And to kind of touch it up. And, it does the trick. Most people aren't ever even going to notice it. But, it just took away from that, my perfect shining guitar type of experience. But anyway, this is my Sparkle Jet guitar. And one last thing that this checks off the list is right in here. I have a couple of others on some other guitars that we'll get into in the future, but the certificate of authenticity. They call theirs the certified Gretsch guarantee. But having something like this was kind of a big deal. It was like a big step in the collection to say, like, this is that level, that COA type of level guitar. And that definitely checked a big thing off of the list. So a heavy hitter here for the Gretsch Sparkle Jet guitar. And I really hope that you enjoyed taking a look at this one with me today. Okay, some tones from the Sparkle Jet from Gretsch here. This guitar I used in addition to my Rickenbacker 12-string. I used this on my song New Guitar. You can check out the video here, and I'll play the chord progression to that. Starting on the neck pickup, This is a much simpler control layout than some other guitars we've looked at, but it has a volume knob for the neck pickup, a volume knob for the bridge pickup, and a master tone knob, and then the Gretsch kind of master volume knob that controls the volume for the entire guitar. Everything's turned all the way up to 10. And in the middle, and the bridge. And just some single note stuff on the neck. And the neck. Okay, so here's where we are at the end of episode 3. This Gretsch Sparkle Jet checked off a whopping 8 items off of our guitar bucket list. There was the locking tuners, the real mother-of-pearl inlays, the sparkle finish, the Bigsby tailpiece, a chambered body, limited edition guitar, an ebony fretboard, and the certificate of authenticity. So all told, we're at 14 out of 62 items, as 2 additional items were added to the list since we started the last video.